We're gonna do a song that you never heard before. The volume.
Here they come and get wicked. Here we go again. Ace Kennedy, my brother from another mother.
What's good, bro?
Man, I am trying to get my wheels together these days. I meant to ask you something here.
What's up?
Okay. Have you been paying attention to all this scoring that's been going on in the NBA?
As a matter of fact, I have. I mean, shoot, O City put up 150 on Boston without Shea. Without
Shea.
Yeah.
You had Donovan Mitchell score 71. It immediately gets drug tested, right?
Right.
You also had
Markin.
Luka, who was averaging like 40 something.
Yep.
You had Laurie marketing hit like 40 something the other day. Giannis was averaging like 40 some points. So here's what I'm wondering though, bro. Is that good for the league? Like, is there something to that? Like, I want to know, what are your thoughts on that though?
It's absolutely great for the league because let's not get it twisted, right? That's the reason why the United States doesn't watch a lot of soccer, right? Even though we have Major League Soccer, you might watch 90 minutes and somebody only scores once, right? But women's soccer, they might score a bunch, so more people might be in tune to watch it. So it's shown that the more scoring that you have, the more. Now, if you want to talk about scoring, I mean, shoot, the way I look at it, Georgia just scored again.
All these people stop DMing me or sliding me text messages talking about like bragging that Georgia whipped TCU. I'm a Texas Longhorn fan though, man. So seeing TCU get whipped like that, it didn't do anything. Like it was cool. I think that for the most part, most people expected it. At some point though, man, I think that all them 5-star athletes versus 3-star athletes, it just makes a difference. But yeah. But no, scoring it is one of those things though, man, that I think it's funny, right? When I saw like a lot of these scores being ran up in people, like if you watch the NBA now, like watching the league now, it's like a little tough to watch. And for me, I don't know if it's because like I'm a basketball purist or whatever though, man, but I think the reason why you see more scoring these days, my theory is this: it's a crossroad between players being that much more skilled, and then also the NBA emphasizing and penalizing good defense. And then I think officiating is horrible because officiating doesn't enforce the rules like that. Like there's a lot of carrying that go on, man. Like if you watch Luka and you watch Ja Morant, if you watch a lot of the marquee players, they carry all the time. They travel and the referees don't call it. They only call like the things that are pertinent to impacting the game. And so I think that you kind of got this crossroad now to where it's hard to find a person who's a specialist on defense, and they can also put up buckets. But at the same time, it's like dudes is already more skilled, but it's like a lot of ball handling and moves and this, that, and the other. When you watch how they manipulate the ball in the game, it looks like, okay, they cold, but then it's like a lot of carrying that just, it's hard to guard somebody when they allow so much more carrying now though, bro. But I think that's why you see so much more scoring these days, and people are doing it because I think Tyler Hero also scored like 40, 50 some points early. I think that you'll see that happen more often though, bro.
I mean, you entitled to your opinion, but I don't agree with it. I think people are playing defense, and I will agree the officiating is terrible. I mean, you look at some games, they will call the hardened step back, and in some games they won't. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, let's be honest, bro. One of the most exciting players in the league be getting away with a bunch of carrying, which is Ja Morant, because he does that hezzy where he's literally just holding the ball and then goes back into a move. You know what I'm saying? I will agree on that front, but the defensive part, I do think there are teams that put, this is why I say that, right? You look at Brooklyn. When Brooklyn had Steve Nash, that was not a team known for defense. And now if you look at them now, they're pretty good at defense. I'm not saying they're great, but I'm saying it's definitely an improvement. And so I think that has translated to wins as well. And then when you're playing defense, that also helps your offense. So I don't know. I think
I get that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that, so this is the way I look at it, right? I think that it's no slouch. I mean, it's no snooze that Brooklyn is playing defense because they got Royce. He's a defensive player, right?
Yeah, and I understand defense. One person can't play it by himself.
I totally understand that. But what I am saying is that with the exception of Royce, everybody else that's on their roster was there when they wasn't playing defense. So I'm not saying that one person can play defense for everybody, but the one person who's the defensive specialist does make a difference. And usually, like I say this, it's all fine and dandy for the regular season, but I just think that the teams who will have more than just one good guy playing defense, those are the guys that you typically will see. Those teams will win. Like, I think that, like, to me, that's why I think that more than anything, I think that the West is more open because I don't think the West has as good of the premier defenders like I think that the Eastern Conference does. And so I think that, and even the teams that the premier defenders, for what I've seen, they're not on those contending teams like that. So it's like to me, the East plays better defense than the West. But I like I said, I think that it's because you brought up the Nets, I think that Royce being on the Nets, that does change that roster on how they defend though.
Okay, so what happened to the Lakers with Pat Bev?
Well, see, that's a good point though, right? So Royce, and this is what you said, not one person changes because they had let's take a step back because this just to clarify. So before, the Nets only had Nick Claxton, who would basically be their rim defender, right? And all he can do is block shots, right? So technically speaking, on the Nets starting lineup, they have two guys who are defensive specialists, right? And last year they only had the one guy, and that's why it looked different, right? So when it talks about the Lakers, right? Fast forward, we're talking about them. The difference with the Lakers is that Pat Bev is the only defensive specialist that they have. And even with that said, though, right? I mean, they don't have a rim defender, right? So even then, and listen, Pat Bev ain't no spring chicken. He's an older player though. So I don't think that anybody looks at Pat Bev like Pat Bev from 5-6 years ago. I think that Pat Bev, they look at Pat Bev, and I remember he was trying to say, "Oh, we look at somebody and we see them as a cone." I think that that's how people look at Pat Bev. Nobody's scared of Pat Bev's defense now. So I think that while he's a defensive guy, he's not that great of a defensive. He's a good one, but he's not a perennial A1 top tier defensive player. And not just that, the Lakers have no rim protection. So it's like, it's still, you're right, one person doesn't, but they don't even got two that be on the court at the same time though. And that's why I think it's different for them.
Yeah. Well, man, we got so much to talk about. Let's get this music popping.
Let's do it.
I knew that was going to happen.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast.
If you smell what the rock
And listen, if you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe to the Slash Brothers YouTube and Facebook pages. That way you can get the heads up whenever your boys are live, because we go live from both platforms at the same time. We're getting it back available on everywhere you can stream podcasts. I think that we're going to start that off next month, Ace. Laundry, let's get into where you want to start, bro.
We got a lot of Meek news, so let's just start there. So apparently, this boy Meek was at a fight. Who I forget who was all fighting this weekend, but
is that Tank? Tank was fighting.
Yeah, Tank was fighting. But yeah, so he ended up getting into it with another boxer over, one. He was there to support somebody, and the boxer was there to support, and they got the jip job and lip clapping and this, that, and the other. They ended up having to stop the fight in order to get them to calm down, bro. So but you combine that with then Meek goes to Ghana to shoot a music video in front of their like Capitol building, and they wearing like shorts and t-shirts and stuff out there talking about whatever Meek talks about. And they were not too happy with that, saying like, you wouldn't do that in the US, going to your capital and be, doing this, that, and the other, but you come over here, and they felt that was very disrespectful. So, I mean, a lot of Meek news right now, bro. What we doing about Meek, bro?
Well, I think that what's also interesting to me is that Meek was also at a concert, and it kind of had something like he was. They showed this video of him on his way to getting on stage or something like that, and they was trying to, they was roughing Meek up, and it's gonna sound crazy, bro. But it's just starting to look like Meek is always into something, and I don't know.
That's what I know. That's what I'm saying. So what we doing about him?
I don't know, man. I don't think that there's much that I don't think that it's necessarily his fault, right? It does feel like though that okay. So it feels like stuff finds Meek the way that your boy Whack 100 goes and finds stuff to get into, right? Like Whack be pursuing getting into stuff. I think that Meek just so happens that it's like people try Meek for some reason. And I don't know what it is though, bro, but like he just it's almost as if Meek Mill's social media presence, like he's tribal, right? Like somebody might like just it's weird. That's the only thing I can think of, because he was there in Ghana and he was there showing love. And I think that Meek was leading with that love as well, though, bro. But it's just for some reason, though, man. Like, I think that, like, even when it came to the boxing joint, though, right? I think that Meek Mill basically was saying he said something like, "Yeah, this ain't going all 12 rounds." And then I guess one of the guys who overheard him saying that was one of the guys from the camp of the other people. And then they got kind of going back and forth or whatever. But at the same time, it's like, well, you wouldn't say that to another boxer, right? And they didn't say that to Steven Jackson, who was there. It's like, it's Meek. So I just feel like for some reason they felt like they could go there with Meek, though, bro.
Yeah. I don't know, bro. And I know he had permission to shoot there, right? But it was the Ghana people that took issue with it because they felt it was disrespectful for the lyrics that were used with that in the background, and then of course their attire. So
I don't know what song he
did.
And what was his attire anyway?
Yeah, like some basketball shorts and a t-shirt. And so they're saying like they that is a sacred ground for them, you know what I'm saying? And so, that's their Capitol building or whatever the case may be, and they didn't feel it was appropriate. So
yeah, I get that. I mean, if you feel, that's just one of those things where, it's like you go to somebody else's country. Yeah. There's the other cultural, and you even though they black, it's just you don't know how they get down like that,
bro.
So I guess when you listen,
he should have learned from Brittany Griner, bro. You don't go to nobody else's country acting up, doing what you do.
Listen, I look at this the way. I remember, okay, so Goody Mob has a song, Fly Away. If you don't like what I say, fly away, right? If you don't like where I stay, fly away. What CeeLo Green says, He says, when we on your side of town, we don't act wild, we abide by. And so he said, so abide by the rules that y'all stand by. And he said, you're welcome to come. You're welcome to stay. But if you disrespect, we'll make your tail fly away. If you don't like, and that's what I'm saying. Like when you own, it says it's no different from if you in somebody else's city. You got to move into accordance to how they move around, and that's their culture. So I get it. But it's also being aware of that, because I'm going to assume that Meek didn't know that. Right.
I'm sure he didn't either, but at the and like I said, he got approval to shoot there. It wasn't like he just went guerrilla style and shot out there. I just think that, like I said, the people can respond the way that they want to, and they felt it was disrespectful. So I don't think he caught any smoke from even like the president or whatever the case may be. But at the same time, the people just weren't happy with it.
I am curious though, man, because Meek is I don't know if he's technically in free agency, but he's been looking more into the money side of music, and he hasn't really been, putting out any new music because he's been discussing things like that, the money aspect of the music business though, man. So like he keeps his name in there though, bro.
Yeah, bro. Well, speaking of money, we got 2 billionaires that we need to talk about, and both of them getting slapped with something.
What are we talking about?
Well, first, we got to talk about that boy Dana White, bro. What we doing about him? So New Year's Eve, him and his wife is out in, I think, Mexico. And there's a video that surfaced where she slapped him and he slapped her back. And they was on that sauce. And, he had to apologize for popping his wife, because he was like, look, man, we've been married for over 30 years. I've known her since she was 12 years old. We got kids. We done been through some stuff. And you've heard me countless times say you never put your hands on your wife. Unfortunately, this popped off. I'm embarrassed or whatever the case may be, but you should never put your hand on your wife. And then she even came out and said, like, look, this is uncharacteristic of him. This ain't never happened before. And we was both saucy. So what we doing? What we doing about it, bro?
Okay, listen. Okay. I don't want to sound like I'm coming into the defense of the man in a domestic violence scenario.
Right.
But at the same time, though, bro, I could be wrong. This ain't the first time she's hit him, bro. Like, this isn't the first time that she has put her hands on him, regardless of, because I think that Dana White trained in MMA, trains a regular deal, and I think that she has confidently put her hands on him, not thinking that he ain't gonna do nothing, he's just gonna take it. And the drink did, probably gave him that clap back. But at the same time, though, man, you got to hold him to a higher standard. And so I think that if he would have found somebody else and said, all right, well, we're going to find you and we're going to keep it moving, and we're going to suspend you and we're going to keep it moving, you down, but we got to suspend you. I think that you got to do the same thing from him, but it has to be harsher. So I think that you got to penalize. He needs to. It's going to sound crazy, but you got to find yourself. But I think you also got to suspend yourself, though. I think that would be a fair thing to do.
Now, if she forgiving him, is we forgiving him?
Then we got to forgive him, because listen, if she's forgiven him, bro, it just tells me that she's done it before. Like, this isn't, I'm not going to sit here and say this is the first time, or this ain't his first time putting him in. But I think that she has slapped him before. She has did something to him before. And I think that if you just jump out there that quick, either you admit and you knew right away that you were wrong for provoking. But I think it just feels like, for as long as they've been together, bro, that it just seemed like this ain't the first time this season. And I don't know nothing else about that.
Now, do you think this is the first time he done hit her?
See, that's the thing about it. I don't know. Listen. He reacted so swiftly, bro. I got to be honest with you, bro. And I don't know Dana White from McCann and Pan. I don't want to get us canceled by saying this, but right. That was too fast of a response, and it makes me feel like he's hit her before, bro.
Okay. Now
she's hit him, and I think that he at a minimum, He's shake the hell out of her before, though. He's grabbed her by the shoulders and shook the hell out of her before.
Are we giving him a pass because he is the owner of the UFC?
No,
like
no.
He's from a violent culture, bro.
I'm only giving.
He brought work home.
No, I'm only giving.
Wait, we can't laugh, bro, because it's looked like.
Oh my gosh! Listen, I'm only giving him the pass because she was on video slapping him first, and I don't think that I don't think that there's it. Listen. I told you the scenarios for when I would ever put my hands on a female.
Yep.
It wasn't quite that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, that's where I stand with every guy. Has
their point.
Yeah. So, that looks like something that that had probably been brewing, and then boom.
Yeah. So, what's our boy? Our residential keeping it all the way black. Not Dr. Umar, but DL Hughley.
Okay.
He basically said, like, bruh, if this had been a black dude, this would have been all over everything. But we ain't quite giving it that salt, that spice, that we ain't quite keeping this in the news like we
I didn't think about that. I did not think about that because listen, I haven't seen it on CNN. I haven't seen it on Fox News. If we being honest, I had to see it and find out about this on the internet. I didn't see it mentioned at all on the news.
Have you seen it on SportsCenter?
Never seen it on SportsCenter.
And you faithfully be watching Skip and all of them.
I don't even know that I've even heard. I heard Stephen A. and them talking about it one time, and Stephen A. basically says, "Hey, I love me some Dana White. I know him personally. I get all of that though. He forgiving him, and again." Listen, the people who say they know him, right? Mm-hmm. If you've forgiven him, I think that it feels like, bro, they just know that she's put them hands on him before.
Yeah.
It's weird, but I don't see the coverage like that. And listen, if it was I don't know if it's another CEO. Oh my gosh, listen. Since you brought him up, if Dr. Umar was on video slapping a woman though, especially a black woman though, bro. Black America would be done with him, bro.
A black America, though, but this is a white dude. So we hold our own accountable, right? But we talking about the way the media, though, would be covering it up. Because I see Dr. Umar isn't big in that space like that.
What would you put up there with him?
That would be like, okay, so
if Denzel slapped his wife, though, bro, I think Denzel would be done.
I was thinking like ownership, like Magic Johnson. Like, I'm thinking of somebody who's in an ownership position that's big like that, right?
If Magic Johnson was on, if Magic Johnson was on
camera,
they would.
Oh no! See, that's not a fair comparison because there's some other. Yeah, because they already gonna take Cookie side for anything, bro. So.
Oh, I'm just sitting here. I can't see. That's the thing about. I can't think of an equivalent to Dana White.
Right.
But I think that. But
even if Joe Dumars did it.
Nah, Joe Dumars.
You don't think Chuck and all of them would be roasting him on TNA?
No, I don't think so, bro. I don't think so. Listen. I think that with all things considered, there's a noticeable lack of coverage on that because it came and went. Like I didn't hear hardly any. I had to find out about it on social media, and it popped up on TMZ afterwards, and that's how I found about it.
But look, I heard about it and just kind of forgot about it until it was Donkey of the Day today. Like I was like, oh, I forgot all about that. Like just came and went, like you said.
Yep, it came and went.
Let me ask you this question, bro. I've asked you this before, but I don't quite remember your answer. Have you ever seen Succession?
Nope,
bro. So
I don't know why you told me about it, but I've never.
So Succession is about this family, right? They're no mobs or nothing like that, but they're a rich family, and they're going through the whole thing of ownership of the company. What kid is going to take over? This, that, and the other. The last season ended with a big deal happening with the family business. I say that and bring that up because, bro, I swear the WWE is like the real life Succession because that boy Vince coming back, bro, and how he got the company back is it's like a storyline from Succession, bro.
How okay? How many seasons is Succession? Is it just
It's
one?
three. It's
three?
three, but it's in the fourth season about to come up. But it's on HBO and it's dope. It's bro.
I gotta watch it, bro, because I'm probably like a couple of episodes into Pennyworth, and I watched that during my workout, though, man. I think I might have to go ahead and put that one on the list.
Yeah. Watch Succession, bro. But so the boy Vince, everybody knows he kind of had the whole scandals coming up with the WWE. Him and John Laurinaitis got caught up with a couple of people that they had to pay off. John Laurinaitis has since been fired. Vince McMahon came out and retired. And so then we started hearing these rumblings. Like now the WWE has been doing well. The boy Trips is Triple H, for those who don't know him, Triple H and his wife Stephanie, which is Vince McMahon's daughter. They kind of were running the company with not Tony Khan, but there's another Khan, Chris
Joseph
Khan, somebody Khan. Okay, but anyway, so Stephanie and Mr. Khan were co-CEOs of the company, right? Triple H was running the day-to-day operations as far as the storylines, the creative side of stuff. He rehired people that Vince and fired. Like they getting the company booming, the stocks is going up, morale is high, everything is happening. And then we start hearing these little rumblings toward the end of the year that Vince is coming back. And I'm like, no way, there's no way. So apparently, the boy Vince said, nah, I done got some bad advice. They told me to retire and I ain't want to retire. And in my mind, if I would have stayed, it would have blown over by now because there's so much other wrestling news and stuff like that. It would have blown over by now. So he said, look, so this is what we gonna do. Vince still, even though he's not in the public eye, whatever, he still owns the majority of the shares. So he gets the biggest voting right. So he basically said, look, we're gonna do it like this. I want to be back. And the rights to the TV deals is about to come up. So y'all need to bring me back, or when y'all try to sell the company or do any type of rights deals, I'm not even gonna vote for it. So it's either you bring me back or we gonna be riding this thing out. And so with all of the deals, like WWE TV deals is coming up, AEW TV deals is coming up, all of this stuff is happening. So today, before we went live, Stephanie just stepped down as the co-CEO of WWE. That boy Vince is like all the way back, bro.
Whoa!
Before we went live, I just saw Stephanie today announce that she's resigned.
Jeez.
Now
there gotta be layers to that, right? Because again, she stepped in as CEO. And listen, that means that she had to co-sign the undoing of everything that Vince did recently, right? So she had to have had a philosophical and creative difference to hire back all the people that Vince basically fired.
No. I think she rode with what Hunter did. I think she was like, everybody was good with it, but morally it's wrong, right? Because he is just coming off of this investigation. They already said he's got to pay back the money that the company paid out to the people he paid out for the scandals. Right. So he's already got to do that. The scandals aren't done yet, right? So people don't know whether the stocks are going to drop or not because Vince is going to basically take over. You're bringing your real life scandals back. And for him, he's like, bro, I'm over 70 years old. I done made it past this thing. I'm out of it. And so for him, you legally, you can't do anything. Like you're in a rock and a hard place. And like I said, this is just like a storylines that happened in Succession. Like when you watch it, you're gonna be like, bro, this is WWE on film. But it's crazy because the talent are who is concerned, because it's like Regal just left AEW to come to WWE. So what? Like, okay, what? You fired me before you left. So there's a whole bunch of people.
Well, not just that though. Who if Tripp is over creative, but Vince is the CEO, where does that put Tripp's power then, right?
That's what I'm saying. Is he gonna be running creative again? Like there's so many questions, and that's what the talent feel too. because it's like things have been running smoothly. Like, for instance, right? Let's just say before Vince got fired, we knew of Nikki Cross, who was the superhero chick. They AAA stripped that away and gave her to be a good wrestler again. You know what I'm saying? Your boy, they kind of stripped away the 24/7 title, and now Osaka, whatever his name is, has actually been wrestling and not just doing this goofy, silly stuff. So there's a whole bunch of things that have been happening creatively that the fans have been happy. The stock price has been good, so the shareholders have been happy, and then the morale around the whole WWE has been great. And now that they know that boy Vince is back, it's just like, man, it's just bad timing and right for 2023, bro.
Jesus, man.
But anyway,
that's it. Interesting power play, though, bro.
Yeah.
I listen. I don't know. I think that you got to think about it, man. You got to think about there's a difference. Like Vince is almost like, yo, this is legally. We talk about legalities versus morality, bro. And if you think that what in terms of why they was trying to force him out goes against moral codes, then it's almost like, well, listen, you're trying to charge someone. You're trying to use the moral clause to force somebody out who wrote the moral clause, right? So that's why Vince was able to say, "Oh, I'm about to slide. I got my way back in, though, man." I don't know, bro. Listen, I think that Vince McMahon, the character Vince, right, is good for wrestling, though, bro. I just don't think that his decision making here lately, creatively, has been the best thing for. Like, it lost me for a long time, and I'm not gonna lie. And I've just slowly been keeping up with Raw. Not so much SmackDown, but I'm more so like, if I was talking about percentages of wrestling, it's like 75-25 AEW to Raw for me. But then at the same time, it was you know what I'm saying, it was worse than that at one point, though, man. So I don't know, bro.
Hey, I just don't think
it's worth keeping an eye on, though.
Yeah, I don't think the talent is feeling very oozy right now, bro.
No, there's no way, bro. Now, I would be thoroughly impressed if Vince said, if I found out that Sami Zayn's this whole storyline was Vince's creative, bro. That would be brilliant, because then I was like, I don't have nothing to say then on that,
No,
because that's
not.
been the best thing.
It's not. They brought some dude in, and that's who been working on the Bloodline storyline the whole time. They brought a dude in.
Okay. Did Vince bring the dude in?
I don't remember that part. I
was about to say.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but I don't know. I don't know, bro. That is an interesting thing, though, man.
Yeah. So, speaking of that, bro, you sent me this article about somebody talking about what it means to fall off. Can you give me the skinny on it? Because obviously Vince don't know that he didn't fell off, and so you know what I'm saying.
So who? Let me see. Who was? I got to make sure.
Okay.
K-Camp. Yeah. K-Camp. So okay. So I don't know. Like, okay. So this is what's interesting, right? So K-Camp is, I believe, an independent artist. But K-Camp from Atlanta, he has some songs. Like, K-Camp has some people who really rock. I didn't realize it until I started to look at the comments and everything like that. And he has like his own cult following, right? And what's funny about that is that K-Camp hasn't been, and the thing that's funny to me is he makes good radio music, right? It's right along the lines of, it's safe, but it got a little street in it as well, but it's chick friendly at the same time. Good melodies. Like, he makes great radio music, though, right? Mm-hmm. But he was in an interview because somebody was kind of talking like, "Yo, man, did K-Camp fall off?" And he was like, "Well, listen, how do you define falling off, though, right? Because if somebody's saying, well, I fell back for a second, or if I'm doing something else differently, but if I'm putting, I mean, it's almost like when you say fall off." And he made a good point of, he said, well, listen, if I'm doing other things, and you talk about money wise, right? If those other things are generating more money to you, did you really fall off, or is it that you're just not popular at the moment? So then it just begs to ask, like, how do you define that somebody fell off?
See, and he went further by saying falling off to him means that you're not doing music anymore. You're not making any money. You're out on the streets, basically not doing
Yeah,
not doing it.
you all the way down.
Yeah, because he feels like music comes in waves. He's like, because I've released some, mixtapes and stuff like that weren't even supposed to be for the mainstream, but I was still releasing music. And then I guess one of his bigger songs, he's like, well, during that time, I recorded this song, and then that song kind of, but then he tour. So he's like, I'm still touring and stuff and selling out shows and doing this and the other. So how can I have fallen off? So that's his perception.
Yeah, I think that I think, bro, here's where it is. We talk about it all the time that I think that in music, I think that music, especially hip hop, is so microwave. R&B is starting to sound like that or be like that because of the influence of hip hop. But I think that it's so microwave, right? And it's and listen, it's only hip hop. I don't know. I'm gonna say R&B as well because we do it in black music in general, bro. It's the only one that I know that will say someone fall off, right? I think, and when I think of pop music, other pop music, I think that people are waiting. Like I only say that because what's my dude, the country music singer, so man, like country music, Garth Brooks, he ain't came out with a song for a while, for like 20-some years, 30 years. And he would be able to sell out a concert at any time he wanted. He was still, to his fans, as relevant as he ever had been, though, bro. And I think that I could say the same thing with Adele. Like if Adele came out with a new album right now, you know what I'm saying? Like she had some time in between her albums, though, man. And it was like when she came, it was right back. Like Beyonce was it's the only artist that I can think of in terms of black music.
I got one better.
Who came back and it was like they never left.
Rihanna.
Well, Rihanna ain't came back yet though. Like
yes,
that.
She did. She came out with the Black Panther song, bro.
Yeah, but that ain't that. No. That's different.
No, it's not different. This is what I'm trying to tell you. People were when she started dropping those hints that she was dropping a song, people were excited. Like I heard it on
I was excited.
Outlets. I know you were excited, but I'm saying not just you though. I'm talking about outlets were promoting it like, yo, we really, but like they was trying to connect the dots. Like we went on her Instagram and said this, and then the director of the movie said this, and then when the song dropped, people was like, yo, the song is dope. Like they were wanting some new Riri music for so long that we actually got a single, and so now it made people more excited for her newer music. So I'm saying, I'm not saying that Beyonce. I'm just saying Beyonce was the only one. That's one thing I'm saying.
No,
hello.
My internet was my wife was wigging.
Okay.
Yeah. We back.
Yeah, you back.
No, here's what I'm saying though. I agree that Rihanna came back, right? But the song that she came out with, it wasn't like a chart-topping song. It was a dope song. But I'm saying though, I'm saying that when Rihanna comes back with the song that's gonna be her, this is my new single for my album, right? And when you hit that song and people are vibing to it like it was the last, not the last, because here's the thing about it. Even the Rihanna, the before this last song that she came out with, the Black Panther one, I think the last song I heard from her was the Lemonade Joint with Pharrell and them on it. And I thought that was a dope song, but it wasn't like the albums, the Rihanna album song. So to me, when she comes back, and then it's like, oh, it's like you never left. You get that kind of wave ride. I think that's what Beyonce did. And I just don't know that. And I'm not saying that Rihanna didn't have anybody that was waiting for her, but I'm just saying that I think that the level of boom, it's still there. Like I think that Beyonce was the last person who I saw that went a while without putting out an album that people was really waiting for. And when she put it out, people were still going crazy about it, like the last album. And it's hard to do. And I think that to me, that's why when in terms of falling off, it's in rap, right? It's easier to say that because you got a short window of being hot, and it's like because you get old fast, right? I mean, listen, Miko's name is about to be 30 in another year or two, though, bro. So it's like and we watched them from when they was 19 years old now, and but that's nothing for R&B, right? Because John Legend can come out with a song now, and as long as it's great, people will rock with it. Same with Maxwell, but I just think that falling off, though, man, is something that for rappers, when you're no longer the most popular guy, that's what it is. Somebody else people are riding this new wave. And when people say, well, how can I fall off if I'm still selling our shows? Your music is still popping, but you ain't that top 5 guy that people are checking for. I'm inclined to agree with him, but I understand why someone will say, oh, you fell off if you ain't as popping as you was at your peak.
Now, let me ask you a question, though, in line with this, right? Do you think it can get to a point where fans don't want to hear new music from you, but just want to appreciate your old catalog? Like, say like a Usher, right? Where it's just like, look, we just rather you tour and continue doing all the songs we know. We don't want to hear no more new music from you.
It depends. It depends. I think that I'm such a fan of the people that I'm big fans of that I want to hear something new from them.
Right.
But with that said,
can you name a song off of his album he did with Zaytoven?
No. And here's my thing. I cannot. But with that being said, if you mean to tell me that none of your music is going to be the same quality as the songs that you made that I love, then I would rather you not do anything.
Yeah,
right?
But Chris Brown probably thinks that his last album, was as good as anything that he's put out, but it didn't connect with the fans like that.
I think that it did, bro. I think that listen, you know what's funny? I know somebody who I know is a diehard Chris Brown fan.
Mm-hmm.
And when that album dropped, bro, she said, Christopher Lee Brown, or whatever his middle name is, you did not disappoint. You ate. Use all the phrases that they say every single song, back to back to back to back to back. You delivered, and you did and they were talking it on up. And I felt that she meant that, bro. So I think that there are certain Chris Brown fans, the diehards, who will think that. But the casual, Chris Brown has almost turned me from a diehard Chris Brown fan to a casual. And as a casual fan, I'm still checking. I love to see somebody be able to put out music that's as good as the songs that made me fall in love with their music. And so, yeah, for that reason, though, man, that's why I'm looking forward to this Confessions, because listen, that last one from Usher, it wasn't the Zaytoven one. But if you telling me that you still got the capabilities to put out them old, yeah, I'm good with that, though.
But what about the Hard album?
The what?
Hard album.
What Hard album?
From Usher, the one that had No Limit and all of that.
I didn't listen. No, see that to me. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. This is what I do. I'll give everybody the experimental album pass. Like if you say
that was the Zaytoven album, right, though.
I didn't think that the Zaytoven, because the Zaytoven was an EP.
No, it wasn't. That was that had 12 songs.
I didn't listen to the whole thing. Maybe I made it to EP level because I only listened to maybe 6 songs, bro. But listen,
that was the experimental album.
I'm gonna give you an album that if you say within your 10, if you got this one that you really wanted to do this, you know what I'm saying? And this was like the one that you said, I'm gonna play around with some stuff and whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like that was the one that he had with No Limit. I just didn't check for the Zaytoven one at all. Bro.
Yeah, the Zaytoven album had 8 songs, bro.
Okay, so it wasn't there. It wasn't full length. I think that it was technically an EP though.
Nah.
By length, I'm pretty sure that by length it was an EP, bro. So, but like I said, albums, I'll give you one. If you want to say, here's what's funny, right? So I say that to say I compare it like this. So Outkast, I love every single Outkast album. except Idlewild. And I knew that Idlewild was the experimental album because it was the soundtrack to the movie that they did. And even that one had the song had the whole world on it. And the whole world ended up winning the Grammy, right? So it's like even the experimental album, the sound sonically didn't take away from the skill, right? And then they backed it on up with Speaker Box and Love Below. And then it was like, okay, boom, you got the one experimental album. So I always looked at that album that Usher had with the No Limit as the experimental album. The Zaytoven one, he was just doing some stuff there. I don't even hold that one against him like that, though, bro. I just don't check for it like that. But listen, Usher though. Usher is almost, if we're going by that definition, right? He's still doing his shows, right? I'm sure he's selling out. We're still looking for him. But at the same time, you might be able to say, yo, did Usher fall off for a minute or did he just fall back? Because I'm sure he's got long bread. Money, right, money aside, I'm not counting his pockets. But popularity-wise, he hasn't been that popular of a guy in quite some time.
Bro, he almost shut the internet down with the tiny desk performance, bro.
That's true.
So
but that was because you was talking, right?
Yeah, but think about it, right?
The king was back.
That's what I'm saying. We start talking that king talk again.
But here's my thing about it though. I guess my thing is that you can almost say that Usher fell off, not to his singing, not his abilities, right? But I'm talking about just on popularity, right? You can almost say that Usher hasn't been as relevant in 15 years.
15 I get that, years. But when you can just pop up and the fame immediately comes back, though, that's in that category of that emeritus status, bro. Like
I agree with you. I understand it, and I agree with that 1,000%, though. But that's more of what K Camp is saying.
Because what I'm saying is Trey Songz ain't gonna have that kind of impact.
No, Trey Songz ain't gonna have that kind of impact. Trey Songz is fighting to stay relevant now, bro. You know what's crazy, bro? I'm gonna keep if I'm being 1,000, bro. And dog, Trey Songz fell off so hard, bro. Like I'm talking about, like I used to be a big fan of Trey Songz. And what's crazy about it is he just fell off because he was just no longer popular. Like it wasn't like, I mean, now there's always these stories about him and sexual misconduct and all that other stuff, right? But I'm just talking about just in terms of popularity. Like he fell off, like, and it was a hard drop off, though, man. Like he literally went from being like everybody was like, yo, it's him and Chris Brown. Like I think one year he won the BET Award for Best R&B Artist over Chris Brown. I think it may have been matter of fact. And then when Chris Brown went to jail, it put him at the top as the lone dude. And then like it's just like it was almost like he was like he was a band-aid for Chris Brown being locked up. And then once Chris Brown got locked back up, it just deemed him as not relevant anymore. But like his song, he's like, it was almost like we say about Nicki Minaj. Like I was waiting for that next big song, and he's made some good music, but it just ain't been them great ones, not the bangers.
Well, I will say on the last album that was in 2020, he had a song called Circles. That was dope.
I love the song. I love the song Circles, bro.
Yeah,
I loved it. I personally loved it.
Yeah,
but it wasn't like Neighbors Know My Name, Say I. Like this is the thing about. I think that he was just so popular at the time that when you can be so hot at the time that in that moment you can't fail. Like you so hot, whatever you put out, people gonna vibe to.
Not Designer,
but Designer never followed up with the right one. Like here's the thing about it. Like he had Panda. Mm-hmm. And then he had Timmy Turner.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, Timmy Turner didn't sound sonically like how when I heard him do the freestyle, the acapella, it didn't sound like the same song. Like it was a whole different bop.
No, what about what last one that I'm gonna bring up? What about the boy Fetty Wap?
Fetty Wap had one of the hardest fall offs for a rapper to me. Now listen, he had the song "The Yams" was dope. The Yams was cool now, right? But he's getting ready to go to jail if he's not already there. I don't know why. I don't know why. I think Fetty Wap fell off behind music business. I think there was some business stuff on his stuff that caused him to fall off like that, though. But I'm talking about in terms of somebody, it's like okay, at some point, right? You could have done so much. Let's say, okay, here's a perfect example, right? So Mariah Carey never fell off. She just fell back. Her last big album was the one that had "We Belong Together" on it, and she just fell back. And I don't think she's put out any new one then. And it was almost like she was so much of a meteoric high that she could just say, all right, I've done enough. I'm about to go ahead and live. I'm about to do these other things. I'm getting money all out the tail. I don't have to do music on anybody's schedule. And so I think that's people can get like that. And I'll give them to say that you didn't fall off. You just fell back, right?
Yeah.
But Fetty Wap, though, man, I think that a lot of people fall off behind the business side of music, though, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, bro, close us out with this last story.
Hold on. Which one are we talking about?
The Shy.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so crazy. So Shy Glizzy, right, from DC. And it's funny because Shy Glizzy was the first time I heard Brent Fires, right? So he has a song, and I love the hook. Matter of fact, I'm not going to I love everything about that particular song. It's the you see money all around me, I look like I'm the man, and it's a real dope song. Well, apparently, I think that this was another artist that was on it with his crew or family member who was also part of that's crazy because the crew is a Glizzy gang. And says that, yo, man, the boy Shy Glizzy was dropping the Molly and girls drinks and everything like that. And I guess some girl had accused him of doing that. And so he comes out and says, yeah, he showed me. I did it before, but he showed me how to do it. He said that's all he do is spiking girls drinks, Molly and girls drinks. Now listen, he says the bad part about it. He says, ladies, think about it. If you've ever partied with the Glizzy gang, and if you've ever been around, you've had drinks. Have you thought to yourself, yo, I was faded. I ain't never been that faded before, right? There's a reason for that. He said, if you really think about it, you ain't never drink that much. You've had drugs before. They ain't hit like that, right? And he said, yeah, the boy just he spikes the drinks with the Molly. And I don't know if he just, I don't know that they necessarily said that he raped them, but at the same time, though, man, they basically say, yo, he's a drink spiker, bro. Like that's his thing.
Who was the one dropping the dimes on him though?
This was a dude who his name was I don't know. I've never heard of this dude before,
okay.
But he's part of their crew. And I don't know, usually when someone just comes out like that, it feels like they had their gripes and differences or whatever. But he was just like, yo, that's just what he do. And I'm telling you, as someone who's seen him do it and several times, that's what he's known for. And I think that it was almost like they said the boy was like he's the modern day Bill Cosby, though, bro. Where he just Bill Cosby, right? You made it seem like that was just what was common at the time. Right. Like that's just what everybody did. And it wasn't just like Bill Cosby. Everybody. There's a interview he did with Larry King, bro. Wait a minute. Well, Georgia just scored again.
You doggone right, bro.
They just scored again,
bro.
But listen, there's an interview though where Bill Cosby is talking to Larry King, and Larry King was like, "Hey, you know how it is, they talking real casual. It's like, yeah, you put just a little bit of this in the girl drink, and she do whatever you want to." And they talking about this like it was a joke, but casually. They knew what was up. What this dude was like, yo, it's real. The boy will if you were partying with the Glizzy gang, protect your drinks because they out here spiking them, bro. It's crazy, man.
That boy should have been playing volleyball the way he was out there spiking.
It's out there spiking them hard though, man. And it's weird though, bro, because I don't see how you recover from that though, bro. Like if Bill Cosby hasn't recovered from that, and that's from years ago, and it becoming public knowledge now, I don't know how you would come back from that though, bro.
Yeah, and apparently he's under investigation now.
Oh my God. Yeah. That dude said yes, he did it. I'm here to tell y'all that's what he's about, though, man.
Damn.
But
what else you got going
on? I was about to ask you the same thing. What you got for the week?
About to hang out with the boys for a little bit, and then just finishing up our process of downsizing. I took 2 bags of clothes already to the spot, and yeah, continuing that, man.
Man, so I was already there, man. I did that over the holidays, though, man. So I made some room for some new stuff, though, man. So it's funny because I've ordered some stuff now. I'm on that order watch now. I'm looking to see, all right, man, y'all up in Utah right now. Waiting for y'all to hit Memphis. When y'all hit that Memphis, yeah. So I'm on.
And it's around the corner.
It's around the corner then, though, man. So I got that. I'm trying my best not to stash all the dope beats for myself, though, man. Speaking of that, I sent you a cool little track. If you check your email, let me know what you think about it.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, pretty cool little.
Yeah, because I have started back on my creative process again, and so I'm super excited about that. Got to get this project done because I got 2 other projects to get to this year.
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited that I am still finalizing. Don't have any dates for releases in mind, but I think that gives me the opportunity to line up these visuals, though, man. So yeah, still working at it, though, man. But I'm mindful now that I'm working with other artists who are also working on projects, and the rapper in me is basically saying, man, stash these beats, though, bro. Keep that one for yourself, though.
That's it, wrong with that. You make them so you can keep them. All right, man. Well, shoot, let's get out of here. We appreciate y'all for joining Slash Brothers on Tuesday. Join us this Friday. Here we go. We outro.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast.
Can you dig it, sucker?